We've come down here today to protest at the way the police have been policing demonstrations, in particular the G20 protest, which has sadly culminated in the death of a man. It was not only a beating before he died, but in the sort of result of a cover-up as well, where the police have started lying in their original statements. An official version of events has changed repeatedly. Senior officers have been found to be misleading the public in their statements to the press. And it seems that a rather large and sizable body of evidence has emerged of police conduct at the G20 protest, which was quite frankly nothing more than bloodlust. It was absolutely despicable. The actions of 19 people breaking into that branch of the Royal Bank of Scotland have been used to tarnish an entire crowd of over 10,000 people, and it gave the police almost sort of free rein just to go absolutely crazy on us. We can see crowds of peaceful demonstrators being beaten while with their hands in the air chanting "peace not violence" and "this is not a riot." Sit-down protests have been baton charged. Crowds of the media have been sent away so they cannot film it using anti-riot legislation. Innocent demonstrators who are doing nothing wrong, who can be seen walking away from police lines, have been viciously attacked with police dogs. The conduct of several officers, and to be honest, the majority of the Metropolitan Police Force on that day was absolutely despicable. We know the Metropolitan Police demonstrations well, and we know they can get it right when they want to. And it's frustrating to see that things can go so tragically wrong as they did in the case of Ian Tomlinson, because we know that the Met can do things properly, and therefore we can only really draw the conclusion that in actual fact they wanted a riot to happen, and it was that simple. From 11 o'clock in the morning, people were kettled on streets, officers were rude, they were insulting, they treated us like we weren't human, they began assaulting us. It was completely vicious and off the cuff by 12 o'clock. When the crowd was purely peaceful and nothing had been done that could even constitute a criminal offence. Again, we saw in the demonstrations regarding the Israeli issue of Gaza, we've seen peaceful demonstrators attacked, in particular on Kensington High Street, where crowds were kettled in for over 8 hours by riot police, subject to vicious and baton charges, and mounted police attacks. Police refused to leave the elderly and the infirm to leave. There were many women and children in the crowd who were not permitted to leave, and we were all kept out on a drizzling evening in winter till around about 9 o'clock at the evening at the earliest, before people were actually starting to be able to make their way home. We're seeing time and time again attacks by the Metropolitan Police Force on peaceful and legitimate demonstrations, peaceful and legitimate expressions of democratic dissent, which in any democracy is an essential keystone to preserving those rights and freedoms.
Police brutality in our nation!
We want an investigation!
Police brutality in our nation!
We want an investigation!